So by this point, I think it's pretty obvious to quite a bit of people that there's a big negativity problem within the DBD community. And so I recently invited my good friend, the Mr. Headache, aka Bran, over to the channel to talk a little bit more about honestly just our feelings about the doom and gloom around everything concerning the games, particularly the new quality of life update that's coming, and just kind of why he thinks that that might be the case. And so yeah, we talked for about 20-25 minutes. I hope you guys enjoy the conversation. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next one.
Hi, I'm Bran, otherwise known as the Mr. Headache. I'm probably most known for either my commentary YouTube or my Xenomorph stuff while making the Xenomorph guide, usually hovering around top 5 in the characters, total tail attacks, that sort of thing. So that's me. I don't sting too badly, I promise.
And as I would have said in the intro to the YouTube video, but just for everybody here on Twitch, we're here together today to talk about the doom and gloom attitude of the DBD community. Which Bran and I are both very much against, but you know, it's still a discussion to be had. I've been playing for 2,500 hours. You're at broke 7,000 now, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm at like 7.4, 7.5, something like that.
Yeah. So obviously you have like way more time with this community. You started when, Pyramid Head?
Yeah, Pyramid Head PTB, so early 2020.
Yeah. So I guess like the perspective that I wanted you for was like, how long has this doom and gloom shit been going on? Because you've been here a while, right? You've been in the community a long time. Has it always been this way?
I think it's kind of just baked into the DNA of the game, because I think just very naturally it's a game where one side takes control and snowballs the other, typically, whether it be the survivors, 4-man on comms bringing a lot, or the killer heart tunneling somebody out. It's a game that kind of naturally inspires a lot of powerlessness, no matter who loses. So yeah. I think it gives that feeling of, oh god, to like kind of everything.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was really feeling my big, like, the reason I reached out was because I was watching your which video? I think it was one of your more recent ones. Is there concern to be had about the anti-camp or something like that? I forget the title of the video. And I was watching it, and you said something that just kind of mirrored my own like viewpoint, which is just wait and see. Just wait and see. Like, we got these, I feel like I said this in my pessimism video, we got these big quality of life changes, and they're coming, and we know they're coming, and we know a little bit about what's coming, and everybody just can't seem to be happy for like 2 seconds. like I don't know why our first instinct, or why the community's first instinct, is to look at the changes and immediately try to figure out what might be wrong with them.
I think on both sides have an issue with like accepting when things are our fault that happen in the game. Like if I look at like an end game screen after a game of Killer, and I see like 3 syringes, a lot of toolboxes, like 15, 16 meta perks, I know that was a tough game and that they were playing hard, not really my fault. But I think a lot of people in that situation will look at something different, like, oh, maybe there's like one med kit, you know, maybe some meta perks, and they'll go like, oh, well, they're still sweaty and they're still bad, and I can't believe behavior made the meta so bad.
Yeah,
it's just, they're always looking for something external and never looking internal, and I think the game unintentionally fosters that kind of it's everything else's fault behavior, and I think it extends outside the game to external changes being made as well.
Yeah, and that's I mean, it's everything else's fault, not mine, is such a prevalent like gamer mentality, because I used to I think you know this, I used to coach Overwatch, and that was one of the biggest problems that I would run into with my clients, is they would come to me and be like, I just don't get it, man, I just do everything I can do, and I'd be like, all right, well, you can improve here, yeah, but I would play the right way, but my team is, I was like, shut no, shut the fuck up, like, it's not your team, it's you gotta, you know. So it's, and in this case, you're right. Sometimes there is nothing you can do, right? I feel like, you know, we do want to make that clear. Sometimes there is nothing you can do. I played yesterday morning, Saturday morning, and I had an entire morning where it was just matches where I really couldn't do much. I was playing against very sweaty squads with builds that were meant to make it to where you don't get to play the game as killer, and it sometimes works that way. But I feel like... Shut up, phone. I feel like a lot of people just... You're welcome to not play the game. You're welcome to play something else, I promise.
I think you said something really smart in the fact that there's a lot of like plausible deniability with Dead by Daylight because so much can happen that isn't your fault, like a map spawn or even just a map that's not usually spawning in a strong way, just spawning with an absurd setup. Like so much can go wrong because it is like RNG is so baked into DBD that I think people extend that to like everything. That everything was out of my control. Yeah, it's yeah. No, I definitely agree there, and I feel like when when it all comes down to it, you know, the community doesn't take any responsibility for themselves. So then they look at those changes, right? All the changes we're getting, and they're like, oh no, they're about to make it cited on the way that's not me. They're about to make it I'm Survivor, they're about to make it killer sided. I'm killer, they're about to make it Survivor sided. I mean, I saw somebody the other day bitching about the finisher Mori, saying it was OP. Like the base kit one. And I was like, the one you don't get till you've already won.
Yeah. And I was like, no, it isn't. And they gave like this stupid hyper specific scenario. They were like, everybody had been 2-hooked, and we opened the gates, and I saboed a hook, and the last person was gonna wiggle off, but then the killer dropped him, and he chased the other 3 of us out, and then he just got the kill for free, and that survivor would have wiggled off. And I was like, or he would have waited 15 seconds for the saboed hook to come back, and then hooked the survivor if he didn't have a Mori. I don't know, man. But then you got on the killer side. Like I said it the other day, I am so sick and tired of hearing killers complain about Swifts. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of it. As a killer main, I'm so tired of it. Just play the fucking game.
It's just that everything's so exaggerated, you know?
Yeah.
Like we've been talking about. It's just like not every group is Swift. I can tell typically when there's at least like a 2 or 3 grouping because they're playing off each other's perks, stuff information that wouldn't be given in the HUD. But like people just don't have that skill, which is not their fault because it takes a while to like have that familiarity with perks and playstyles to go, they wouldn't be able to do that with the HUD information.
Yeah.
But they just assume it in every tough game they have that it was 4-man Swift on comms. And I think it's just become this kind of like boogeyman that everybody's scared of. That doesn't happen as often as people think it does.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's... For me, I tell people, you either adapt or you just accept that game was a loss. Those are your choices. And I wonder, like, you know, so they bringing it back to the quality of life changes. Like I said, your video because like I've been hearing it a lot too, and I'll even say I think concerns can be valid, right? Because I don't think anti-tunnel needs to come to the game. I think that there's too much anti-tunnel in the game, especially with like how aggressive good survivors can be with anti-tunnel perks. But we also don't know what they're going to do. It could be something as simple as an incentive.
Yeah.
I liked what you said, where it's just like, let's just wait and see, and we can criticize if it's bad, but it might be something none of us thought of. Like that, like the way they implemented the surrender option, the anti-slug surrender option, I don't think I ever saw people come up with, hey, if all 4 survivors are on the ground, everybody gets to give, the survivors get to hit the surrender button. I don't think I ever saw that suggestion once. Behavior can surprise us and come up with something we didn't think of.
Yeah, and then in that same video, I talked about how the anti-camp meter that they put in really didn't affect much. It just kind of scared off the face camping bubbas, and that's about it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Ended up being fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like this, I don't remember. Of course, I was there when the anti-face camp meter came in. Was there like anybody who was like, "This is gonna kill the killer roll"? Like, I don't remember. I don't remember. I remember seeing it and going, "Oh, that's cool." just moved on with my life.
And that's just the problem is just like if the shoe fits, it makes people uncomfortable. They're like, that's me. I'm the face camper. They get worried. Hey, I tunnel every single game. Oh no. Which realistically, like, if you're tunneling every single game, like, you better be at least win streaking or something. But I don't know. Like, I feel like I noticed that a lot of people kind of like there were a lot of streamers on Twitch that made their whole bread and butter the face camping Bubba's thing. Mm-hmm. And when that got taken out of the game, they just folded. Like they stopped making content, they switched games, or they like switched to Survivor. I saw one person do, which was interesting. Mm-hmm. Like literally all that brought them to the game was just, I'm going to cheese at least 2 kills every single game by just doing nothing. And it's just, I think the fun at other people's expense crowd naturally fear changes that take that tool out of their toolkit.
Yeah. And it's like, and I think that's one of the biggest things. Like I regularly compare Dead by Daylight to a TCG, you know, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Hearthstone, stuff like that. And I think people just don't understand that in TCG-esque games, this kind of stuff happens all the time. Whether it be a set rotation or an errata or just anything, all the time you'll have a certain play style and then you just can't play that play style anymore. Like I used to play Burn a lot back in Yu-Gi-Oh. Burn was like my bread and butter, and after a while the meta shifted and I wasn't able to play Burn anymore, and it sucks, but you either quit the game or you keep playing. I'm mostly tired of every time we see something good, people have to seek the bad. And I even told my community, I was like, I just don't want any pessimism around these changes, man. I'm just done. I'm done. Let's just wait for them to come out.
I think it's natural that, like I said, this community kind of errs on the side of like self-pity and self-victimization, because if everything is against them, it makes like their plight and their gameplay feel better in a weird way, because they're fighting back against the man, you know, like they're overcoming insurmountable odds. And if it comes down to, you know, if all your play style come down to is I just hard tunnel every game or I just camp every single game, and that's the only way I win my games, that's a flaw. Like you do not have a diverse tool set to handle your matches, and that's a hard pill to swallow, I think. Yeah,
and it could be scary when you only think in those very limited ways. Like I was talking about yesterday morning before I went to work. I came across a 4-man squad who had flashbang / background player. And then they had We're Gonna Live Forever and Made for This. And so if I slug, I'm fucked. If I pick up, I'm fucked. And so in that moment, I was like, I don't really feel like I can do anything. And I left. I quit the match out because it just wasn't a fun match. But in reality, if I looked back on it and I looked at it with fresh eyes, I probably could have did something more. It just would have been a lot harder on me. And you know, sometimes people aren't up for that challenge, I guess.
Also, unless you're on a win streak, sometimes you're just going to have games that you don't win. And as long as you're on a win streak, it's like, does that really matter that much at the end of the day?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people think that they can win every single game, and that's on both sides, Killer and Survivor. A lot of people think that they can just bulldoze every single game, and that's just not realistic. It's actually more atypical that we have a game like Dead by Daylight where you can have like a 90% plus win rate. Like it's just that is absurd compared to other games. It really is, and I think we're too comfortable with it.
Yeah, and also like I was talking to Scott about this, Scott Jund, in his stream. One thing that I noticed that I don't think a lot of the community notices is that the only time you really see those absurdly high win rates is with is when you get with like top tier killers, right? Like the only killers to break, you know, like 500 or something like win streaks is like Nurse, Blight, Billy. And then the only survivors that get like these super high escape streaks or win streaks, whichever one you want to go with, are like top tier teams who are like highly coordinated. Like, I feel like too many people think that they see those kind of things. Like, somebody might watch your Xeno streak and think, I could just jump in and jump on Xenomorph and start doing that, right? And start playing it. And it's just like, no, you can't, because you're not, you don't have, at this point, you're probably almost to over 1,000 hours dedicated to the character, if not more. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't have that dedication. And it's okay to not have that dedication. Nobody, I'll be honest with you, as somebody who has way too much time in this game for the amount of time I've been playing it, I've only been playing this game for like 2 years, and I'm almost broke 2,500 hours. You don't have to be as dedicated as we are. You just don't. Just sometimes you take the losses and go play something else. I think, I don't know if you agree with me, but I think that a good portion of this community genuinely hates this game, and they refuse to stop playing it.
Well, there's a lot that goes into that too, like all the DLC you bought, the sunk cost fallacy, that sort of thing, that just makes you not want to rip away from it. You kind of like very slightly alluded to the fact too that like content creators that do this as either their J-Omega-L-B or close to it, like it's like a part-time gig, like they have to put in that much to get that much footage for videos to be that in touch with the game, so people will listen to them either from like a take perspective or a skill perspective, sometimes both. Mm-hmm. Like the way content creators play the game is abnormal, not unhealthy, but abnormal. Yeah. So unless that is, you know, unless that shoe fits you, you shouldn't try to wear it. Yeah, exactly. And it's just, I tell people, and I mean, even as a content creator, you know, I just came back from that 2-month hiatus, and I preach this to everybody. Just do things that make you happy before you play this game. Go eat your favorite meal, listen to your favorite records, spend time with your partner if you have one. You know, masturbate, smoke a bowl. I don't know. Do something that makes you happy before you play this game, because otherwise, at the same time.
Yeah, do all of it at the same time, exactly. Or you know, if you do what makes you happy before you play this game. Otherwise, you're probably going to be miserable. You will probably. I was doing Survivor Sunday. I'm doing the Hardcore Adept Challenge right now. And before I started stream today, I ate some chicken tenders. I watched my favorite creators. And then I started, and I feel like too many people, they get off from like a hard day at work, or they get off from school or something, and they just immediately jump into this game, and then they deal with like all the minor little frustrations, and those minor frustrations build up, and then they get pissed off, and then they see behavior announce that they're going to bring a bunch of these changes in, and they see something that might nerf their particular playstyle, and then they're like, the only way I have fun in this game is by making other people get pissed off. How dare you take that away from me?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the changes that are coming in phase 1 and 2 of the health patches are directed at like the outliers of gameplay styles and not like the core gameplay styles. Yeah. So I don't think a majority of players will be affected, which is kind of also something you alluded to, is that the minority, the vocal minority is usually louder and you hear them more. So most players, I think, will be very happy, just like with the anti-camp. They're like, wow, no basement Bubba, no face camp Bubba, hooray. And we're all happier for it. There's a lot of face camping Bubbas who like either quit the game, shifted roles, shifted characters, but like overall people enjoy the game more with the anti-camp mechanic. Yep. Same thing with the base kit endurance. I remember having to run BT every game as a survivor just to feel not like a bad teammate. I hated that. But now that's just a thing, and now the survivor role is more fun. So it's just, I think that you got to think about us as a whole community and not just your experience when it comes to changes like these.
And that's probably one of the most, like, I think the hardest things for this community to do is think about everybody else's experience, because I mean, that's the whole, in my opinion, the whole reason we're in the Go Next epidemic right now is because this community is incapable of thinking about other people's experience. Like, the amount of people who defend fucking your teammates over and ruining the game for everybody else is insane to me. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in any gaming community I've ever been a part of. Like, it's actually insane.
I had made a video about that a while back, and it was like, the title was like, "Are Survivor's Just Bad?" And it was just something that I kept track of for a lot of games, but I was keeping track of why people quit and why people gave up. And it was usually just decisions that were poorly made because they were thinking of the game as a 1v1 v1v1 and not a 4v1. Like, they were trying to think about it as an individual 1v1 with the killer and not working as a wider team, and just making really egregious macro mistakes for Survivor.
Yeah.
And then getting mad and quitting, when it's like, if you had just played in a more team-oriented play style, you would have been fine.
Yeah. And I when I kept track of a lot of it was just seemed just petty reasons. Like, I mean, just today, the last game that I had before I called you, we had a Sable who ran this clown for like, I want to say probably like a minute and a half. And we finished a gen and almost finished a second gen in that time. And she went down, and the moment she got put on the hook, she started trying to give up. And I was like, what the fuck? What's going on? And
because
after
her game is over.
Yeah.
Even though you guys were going to win the whole game,
yeah,
her game is over.
Exactly. And it's just like, and when you talk to people, unfortunately, I spend time on Reddit, which I probably shouldn't, but there's this subreddit called Dead by Daylight Rage, and if you ever want you ever want a good laugh, you just scroll that subreddit, because it's the most delusional fucking people in the entire world on that subreddit. It's so fucking funny to me, dude. Like, if I open it up right now, I'll guarantee you 80% of those posts are people whose biggest problem is skill issue. But anyway, one of the things that I when people were talking about the Go Next epidemic, one of the things that I saw on the Reddit was somebody was like, well, of course I'm gonna go next because all my teammates suck. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And they would give examples, and I'd be like, is that really what you think is happening? Like, one person was like, oh, well, I saw my teammate on a totem instead of a gen, so why would I play in that game? And I was like, how do you know that wasn't a hex? How do you know that wasn't, or maybe they just had a fucking tome to do a totem real quick. They could take
have strength, they can have overzealous, they have perks that synergize.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have people brought up how they get in a locker with like head on, and their teammates immediately pitch a hissy fit, and then try to open the locker to show the killer that they're in there? Like,
that happened to me. My favorite YouTuber ever also plays DPD, and I got in a match with them. And I was super excited because they're West and I'm East, so I never got a chance to play with them. And they were like, "This Cheryl's so bad; she just keeps hiding in lockers." I had a full locker build. I had quick, quiet, head on, inner strength. So I was just trying to get value, and I was just like, "Ooh."
Yeah, man, I just like I don't know, man. And like I'm not saying that like everybody doesn't fall to it. Sometimes I'll be looking at it, I'll just be like, what the fuck is my teammate doing? Like earlier, I had a David who was injured, and he was on a gen, and the killer was nowhere near him. The killer was like chasing an ace around a car on Haddonfield or something, and the Meg was coming for the save on me. And the David just, for whatever reason, got off his gen, walked to the corner of the building he was in, and just crouched there for like 20 seconds. And I was like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't understand. But I'm not going to get mad at him, because I find that frustrations are natural. But if you ever find yourself like every single one of your games is like, fuck, I hate this fucking shit. Fuck this guy. I feel like you just need to get off, man. I feel like you just need to get off.
I think that in situations like that, like, it's totally fine, because like, if you're just very naturally going, oh, well, I don't know why they're making that really suboptimal or poor play, like, that's fine. You're just gonna like hooping and hollering mid game. But if you take it into the end game chat, or like doom and gloom on Reddit or Twitter about it, I think that's taking it outside the game. I think what I do in those situations is like, I had I forget what it was, but there was some like power-based killer where they had to do an alternate objective, and like nobody was doing it, and we were just getting steamrolled. And so just like in the game chat, I was like, GG's. Oh, by the way, it's important that you do this so that we do not get steamrolled. So yeah, and then I left, right? Like, I just made it like a teachable moment, but there's no point to take that negative energy with me elsewhere in my life.
Yeah, it's my mantra is once that game over screen shows up, it doesn't matter no more. It doesn't matter. I could hate every single person in that match, but the moment that screen shows up, it's whatever, man. I feel like people take a lot of it too personally. But I think a lot of the doom and gloom that we're seeing right now is you've pointed this out before. It's because everybody's bored. Our content, the new PTB got pushed back, and so there's no new content to talk about. And so like so much of the community just defaults to is Dead by Daylight going to die because of this change that we don't know what it is yet? Everybody's just bored, man.
Yeah, I think that's also why they pump out content at such like a pump and dump kind of rate that they do, is to keep people kind of like, oh, well, at least there's new perks, at least there's a new map, at least there's new killer to learn. You know, it's like they're trying to like, hey, keep your eye on the birdie.
yeah. Do not start your crap. I don't know, man. But yeah, no, I think it's one of those things where, and I told myself too, I said this in my pessimism video, I'm not gonna let this affect me, but I still feel like it's an important conversation to have. You know, my message is if you're not happy with the game, stop playing it. If you're looking at good changes that are coming and your first instinct is to try to figure out what's going to be bad about those changes, maybe you need to step away.
Yeah, and I think it not only just for you, but it's just like even for people like that are trying to have that kind of, oh well, just water off the duck, water down my back, doesn't bother me kind of mentality with it. Like that's hard to uphold all the time, especially with just like massive walls of negativity all around you. Yeah. So you're making the overall community environment worse by just kind of like stewing your negativity and spreading it, because you're going to crack people that are trying really hard to not feed into that at all.
Yeah. And that's basically that's what I wanted to bring you on to talk about today, is just the doom and gloom and how you feel about it and where you think it comes from. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you go enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Do you have anything left to say to everybody watching today?
I appreciate you for having me on to talk about it, and be kind out there. Do something nice, even if you do nothing in return.
I agree. And last thing to do is to thank our channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much. I'm sure Bran does as well, and we will see you in the next one.